free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
This is Master Marc Zirogiannis. Welcome to tonight's episode of Taekwondo Life Magazine Live. I am your editor-in-chief and host, and we are a member of the Believe Network. Do you believe? Tonight I am coming to you with great frustration, writing about the lack of information regarding the upcoming Kukkiwon election. Some of you may know that our president, Kukkiwon President Sup Lee, who was featured on the cover of Taekwondo Life magazine, but also was a two-term president for the Kukkiwon, has termed out and cannot run for re-election. We could spend time talking about his legacy and his role in president. I know that no one is perfect, and I know that there are some that have some criticisms of some of the things that he did. However, I do think he was a dedicated Taekwondo practitioner, someone who understood Taekwondo around the world and was dedicated to elevating the level and relationships in Taekwondo. I know in USAT, he formed a partnership. I know that he was known for really reaching out on a grassroots level in Taekwondo. My experience in meeting and talking with him and working with him, both in my capacity as a referee and for the magazine, were very positive. Now, we are facing a critical time in the Kukkiwon because the candidates, there are now three, there were four, but there are now three major candidates, have very different views of the current system of branch offices around the world. There are some that would like to continue that and some that would like to pull back on that. This election will take place on September 19th, Friday. Some will vote in Korea and some will vote out of Korea. We will talk a little bit more about this, but we'll talk a little bit more about my frustration, why I'm frustrated, and what it is that I'm concerned about after these words from our sponsor. Okay, we're back. So as I said, we have a Kukkiwon election coming up. There are three major candidates now that are running. One is An, two is Yoon, and three is Nam. For my mind, I am most familiar with Grandmaster Nam, who of course is a practitioner, but is also most recently and most notably known in recent years as the head of the Kukkiwon, the famed Kukkiwon demo team. The other two gentlemen, I'm not as familiar with what their contributions are. However, they are looking to be the head of the Kukkiwon, the center of Taekwondo around the world. And we talked about this, formed in 1972 in Seoul, Korea. And we did a episode which you can check out about the history of the Kukkiwon. Okay, the election will take place in Korea on September 19th. There's approximately 2,000 voters. They're randomly selected from dojans around the world. 82% of the voters are Korean, 18% are from other countries. And we will hear about the results of it shortly after the election. So we have Young Kyu An, who is running. He claims to be, his claim is that he's the most qualified person for the advancement of the Kukkiwon. Then, of course, we have Master Yoon, or Grandmaster Yoon. And then we have Grandmaster An, who refers to himself as Mr. Change. And he has sort of adopted the Donald Trump, it's make Taekwondo great again. I don't take a position as to whether or not Taekwondo is or isn't in a great the best place that it can be, but I do think that there are some really good things that have come out of Sup Lee's tenure. My problem is that I've made calls to high-level, very involved masters and grandmasters, all of whom have really not been able to give me any significant information on the election or on the candidates. Now, I did hear from some of the regional people here in the U.S. that there is this thought that if some of the candidates, although nobody was able to identify which ones are there, that we will have the phasing out of this regional U.S. System of branch offices, that we will go back to a traditional way where everything will be consolidated inside the Kukkiwon. That may or may not be true. There's other discussion that there were one of the candidates who are looking to perpetuate the current system. Like I said, I don't know which is which because I haven't been able to get this much information. Looking at Grandmaster Nam's solicitation, it says, "I will bring the Kukkiwon back to you. The Kukkiwon belongs to you, who put on the dojang and who put on the dobok and step on the mat every day in the dojang. I will work tirelessly and impact the lives of our students." That's great. I mean, I don't deny that he says that, that what that means, but I'm not sure how that applies to the specific platform. So we did a reach out today with which in our all of our social media, asking people in anticipation of this show to be able to tell us a little bit more about who's running, about what we can expect, about what the turnout is. And we have not yet heard any of that information. So as soon as I do hear more, I will let you know. There is on the 15th, there will be on YouTube a live debate between the candidates that's coming up. I do think that probably will be the best place for us to get a better feel for what they stand for. I will monitor that closely, and I will either write on it or I'll do another follow-up episode. But I thought it was important that I bring this to your attention. I ask you to reach out. I ask you to try to find out what you can, because this is our Taekwondo. This is our Kukkiwon. We need to be involved. WT's having their elections as well. We'll cover that in another show. This episode has been brought to you by all of our good sponsors, and we are a member of the Believe Network. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you know about the Kukkiwon, about the Kukkiwon election. I would really love to know more.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Do you believe?